Hey everybody, I'm just getting set up here real quick. How's everybody doing today? What kind of day is it for you? Let's see if I can't get that video. I just wanted to just chill out with y'all today. I know it's Christmas Eve. I know that y'all might not want a really formal video. So I was just gonna share three quick fragrances with y'all and see if anybody wants to pop in. I think two people are here. Hello, how are you doing today? What's your scent of the day? What are you wearing? How are you doing? I just wanted to share three quick fragrances, maybe give some ideas for last minute gifts. What would be good Christmas gifts? I thought about doing a holiday gift guide. I kind of did that with Posey fragrances. I mentioned quite a few of theirs, and I bought a lot of those for my mom, honestly. So but I didn't really make a big guide just for everybody. I did it last year, and I know my channel was a lot smaller then, but I just felt like it didn't really suit me, and I don't think the video did too well. But of course, my channel really isn't about views. I haven't. If I was seeking views, of course, I would do top tens all the time and that kind of stuff. But I'm that's not what I've been doing. Um, Anyways, how's everybody been doing? What you been smelling? I don't see any comments. I see two people here. I'd really love to see you comment. I'd love to get to know you better. And if you want to, you can help me out and like the video too. That certainly would help me. Um, I get if, and of course, if you have questions, what are some last minute gifts that I would suggest? Let me know. I'd love to give some of those suggestions. One of them definitely is Ferragamo Umo Signature. That's the new flanker of Ferragamo Umo, and it has a little bit of a coffee vibe. It's not near sweet. It's a little bit more professional. There's a little bit of a coffee essence to it, but it's a really nice kind of wearable modern men's fragrance. But it's not too loud. It doesn't project too much. It's quite a nice fragrance, and that one's really nice. And that one really surprised me this year. It's one of the best releases I think I tried, even though it is a little bit on the lighter side, I think. Darren says, "Hey, how are you?" I'm doing pretty good, my friend. Yesterday we had you know, our Dirty Santa party or our, kind of big family reunion get together. If you don't know what Dirty Santa is, it's essentially everybody brings a gift. Usually a family will set a limit 20, 30, maybe 50, as much as $50. And, everybody brings a gift wrapped, ready to go. And everybody puts it in a big table in the middle of the living room, and then you have everybody's name in a bucket or a bowl, and or numbers. You can do it that way, and essentially everybody gets to pick one. But if you're the second person, you can choose the steal. So it's really funny. Everybody is fighting over things they want. Looking forward, the anticipation about what's somebody going to open, what's next. So it's a really fun game. That's the kind of thing we did, and had some nice food. So I've been doing pretty good. About a week or two ago, I was fighting something off. It might have been the flu, but I'm doing a lot better now. I'm feeling a lot better. My energy's a lot better. So how are you doing? What do you do to celebrate the holidays? Let me know. I'd love to know. So I'm just gonna chill out here with y'all, and let me know what kind of gifts are you looking for. I can suggest brands. I actually try to learn just about everything. I'm a real big enthusiast. Fishing, hunting, outdoor recreation, just about everything. I bought some old axe heads and put together some old axes. So I try to be a little bit crafty, a little bit of a craftsman. But I probably could be a better one. I need a real workshop. But of course, I'm trying to focus on my dream. YouTube wise, fragrance wise, and that's my first priority right now. But I am a little bit of a more stoic, a little bit more of a guy who, woods guy, living out in the woods, doing his own thing. I like doing that a little bit more. I like culture. I'm just not really big for Broadway type stuff and big shows, and I can do a little bit of opera. I do like music. When I was at college, I would often go and listen to the harps, and of course some of the ladies are pretty, but I love the sound of harps. It's very calming. It's a very nice experience. So Darren says I'm doing fine, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah. For a little bit while, I don't know if y'all could tell in my videos, I was kind of tired, but I kept pushing on for the channel. I kept grinding because I do want this channel to go somewhere. You know, I care about y'all, and I do my very best. And everything, the world, everything isn't about fame or I don't know money or anything like that. But I don't know. If, I'm trying to be open on my channel, and I don't want to sound petty, but I really do need to have success because I haven't had very much success in my life. I haven't done a lot that I think is worthwhile. I'm very successful. I went to college and all, but that didn't get me anywhere. That didn't prove anything or get me a job worth anything. So I've been doing odd jobs. I don't know if I should even say anything like this on my channel. I've been doing odd jobs for like a year. And if y'all don't know what that is, that's just like doing odd labor, doing anything. An odd job repairing or cleaning something up, doing yard work. So when I buy a fragrance, y'all might know that I only have 50, really 60 to 70 fragrances and a lot of decants. When I paid for those niche fragrances, the ones I bought, that was hard earned money, and that means I really liked the fragrance, and it was really worth my time. I'm kind of trying to figure out if I want to become a perfumer or not, because if I do, I'm gonna have to start instead of buying fragrances on my channel, I'll have less things to share with y'all, but I'll be able to slowly start buying ingredients and slowly, start experimenting and seeing what I can possibly make as a perfumer, a self-taught perfumer, of course, because I don't have a lot of money to do these kinds of things. I see lots of people going on trips, buying expensive alcohol, and doing lots of things like that. And I haven't been. I don't have the luxury to travel or do any of those kinds of things. So um, glad you feel better. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yeah, Jeff. I appreciate that. You too, my friend. What do you do to celebrate? What's your you know, what do you like to wear? What's your Christmas fragrance gonna be, everybody? What are you gonna be wearing tomorrow? Have you done all your Christmas shopping? Do you even want suggestions? I was just putting that idea out there because I'm an enthusiast and I like to learn brands. I like to learn the markets about just about everything. I'm kind of funny. I used to tried to learn a lot of the coin market, collectible coins and stamps. I tried to learn just about everything I could possibly learn market wise. I like to see the variations of prices and what people like, what makes people tick, the different prices ranges. What do people, what is value? Why is something worth $1 and something worth $1 million? That kind of thing. I'd love to see that. Steve S says yes. Start blending fragrances. I can help. I appreciate that. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, it takes some experimenting. It takes time to not only teach yourself, but it takes. I'm assuming it's going to take a month or so to, really make the fragrance the way you want it. Um, and of course, we're so blessed in a modern age through social media that I possibly have this opportunity. Maybe I was born in the right time because with my family situation, not having influence, not having clout, um, I would be working odd jobs or just manual labor, just regular, jobs doing your yard work, mowing your grass, maybe for the rest of my life because I don't have those connections. College didn't get me anywhere, and some people who go to college these days, it's really only 20 to 30% of people actually get into the career they want to get into. Only 20 or 30%. And people don't like to hear that, or people won't accept that. The rest of the people, maybe 30%, the other 30%, maybe they get a jobs in a related field. Something they just made something work. So then you still have, the leftover people, the 40% or so like me, who pretty much because of at least in the USA, We've exported all of our jobs. I don't want to get political on my channel, but we've exported all of our industry. We have people moving in, and there's more competition. So wages, historically, for the last 20 years, have just been going down, wages wise. The U.S. is a great place to be, but there's a lot of competition, and it's not easy. And unless you know the right people and you say the right things, and it's really difficult to get anywhere. That's just where I'm at. Darren says Shalimar EDP for Christmas, my friend. Yeah, I've heard Shalimar is the EDP version is really great. I'm not sure if I tried the EDP. There's a lot of flankers. I think I got a sample of the Lumiere souffle. I think the souffles, I think, are a little bit more musky. And those fragrances were quite lovely. They're really nice. I think they would make fantastic gifts out there. I think your name's Darren. I think a lot of people are able to wear Shalimar. It's unisex. That's really interesting when anybody and everybody can wear anything. I forget if that fragrance was originally made for women, but if you're happy and anybody's happy, rock what you want. I always say wear what you love. And I'm kind of happy that that stigma is going away. Where fragrances is kind of focused on a gender or anything or any group. Fragrance is fragrance, and you wear it and you love it. It doesn't. I don't think it ever should define a certain group or that kind of thing. I'm not into that. Um, so I guess let me know. Are there any Christmas ideas y'all want? Are you looking for a gift for an uncle? I could suggest knives. I'm not a knife collector. I have like maybe 10, but I look into them all the time. I watch all the knife banter. There's a YouTube channel with the Knife Center, and all those channels. I watch them all. Anyways, um, let's talk about these three fragrances, guys and gals. Thank you. Four people. I think we had six. If you're in the house, please like this video to support me. I have three fragrances that were sent to me by Meta on Instagram. Very generous guy. These are not clones. I actually, this one isn't, but these other two are inspired. But this is his own original creation. I don't know if he even wants me putting this out there yet. He wanted my feedback and his thoughts. This is the only fragrance he has out so far. I don't think he has a lot of sales or a big brand yet. And he wanted my opinion on it. It's a lemon, leather, and vanilla fragrance. It's called Le Leva. I think that means the life or something to that effect. And there it is by Mera Meta. Um, Let me know. Do you like lemon fragrances, vanilla fragrances, or leather? This one, it does have a little bit of a essential oil type of a little bit of that character, and that comes from the really strong lemon verbena in this fragrance. That lemon that has a little bit of that pulp and a little bit of a full body to it, and that vanilla adds a little bit to that character. So the beginning of the lemon can seem a little bit of that kind of pulp vibe, and it can seem a little bit sour. But that vanilla is really nice, and it does come through in the dry down. I don't get a lot of leather to this fragrance, but it does have an added kind of texture to it, a little bit of an added, more full body to it. And I wouldn't say it's musky, but maybe a more of a almost like a musky type of leather. But it's a very clean fragrance. It's very universal, easy to wear, mass appealing. Um, I haven't tried a lot of strong, uh, you know, fragrances with a lot of performance that were focused on lemon. If y'all like lemon, if y'all are big lemon heads, this might be something you've always wanted. It is a little bit different. There's this interesting twang, tinge, almost like sourness to it. But the vanilla is a nice, easygoing, light vanilla and a light leather. So it's clean, it's very wearable. It actually has pretty good performance, guys. I'm not just saying it, I'm not lying. It This gets me 6, maybe 7 hours or more, and it has decent projection too. It's not a beast by any means, but as far as a lemon fragrance goes, this is one of the best performing lemon fragrances, fresh fragrances I've ever come across. And of course, that's because of the vanilla and the dry down, and it does have a lot of a heavier type of vanilla The lemon doesn't seem as much as a bright citrus. It seems a little bit more mellow, more like a middle note. Um, I don't know if y'all are into the notes as much, those kinds of details. But I'm trying to see how many people are here. I see three. How are you doing? Let me know. Anyways, I think that this is a great fragrance, and I didn't know what he was gonna send me. I didn't what it was gonna be like. Um, my other favorite lemon fragrance, if you want to know, is that Edition Blanche, Allure Homme Edition Blanche. One of the best citruses on the market. I honestly don't know his price. So far on this fragrance, I need to message him. But if he's selling this for like $50, this is pretty much this is a 50 mil for $50 compared to Edition Blanche, which is $100 plus. This is pretty much the best lemon fragrance on the market, and if he's selling this for $50, so I'm impressed. I am impressed. Nice fragrance, but it does have a little bit of that essential oil vibe to it. I don't know if that's really off-putting for a lot of people. Steve H says good. Yeah, I hope that. I know it sounds pretty nice. It's pretty good. Um, I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. Do y'all want to hear about something that's a little bit more of an oud, or something that's a little bit more of like a dark floral fragrance? And trust me, I have so much fragrances to talk about. I have samples, stuff I bought I've never talking about, full size bottles I've never talked about. Um, I have samples and decants. I have so much. I'm sure other reviewers, it's very hard to pick what to review and what to talk about. I mean, unless if you're just going to talk about designers, I mean that might be a little bit easier to to choose. Um, Let me see. We'll just grab Ragba then. We'll just talk about the one that's a little bit more of an oud fragrance. Um, this one, the cap broke, and I got rid of the bottle. I meant the box. No, I gave the box to my mom because this one is going to my mom. The same great guy who sent me this fragrance decided to send two fragrances that are more clones. They're more Arabic type of clones, and but he was very generous and kind, and really wanted me to review these fragrances. And if any of y'all ever want me to review a fragrance, you're really eager to, of course, please reach out to me at my email, centaur@gmail.com, and maybe you want to send a sample my way. Maybe you think there's something I should really review. And, that's how I got my sample of, Office for Men by Jeremy Fragrance. Um, Anyways, this one, Rogba, is quite an amazing fragrance. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm hyping anything. I don't want to sound like I ever do that because I always want you to wear what you love. I never want to hype up a fragrance or convince you to buy anything. But this stuff is one of the strongest performing fragrances, and it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it's syrupy. It doesn't look like it's particularly dark. This one is pretty similar, and it probably was intentionally a adaptation of Oud Bouquet by, I think it's Lancome. This has a very similar vibe. There's a lot more vanilla to this fragrance. It's very vanilla heavy. There's a lot more. It's still a floral oud. There's different types of oud. There's fresh ouds like bergamot ouds, rose ouds, which everybody knows rose oud combinations. But this is more of a floral oud combination with a lot of vanilla. Some people might say they get a little bit of a praline vibe. There is a little bit of nuttiness. There is a little bit of like almost like a caramel quality to it, but it's very deep. It's a very deep, complex vanilla fragrance. Mostly, it's very wearable for an oud fragrance. Um, I'm really impressed by this fragrance. I think a lot of people talk about this maybe on Fragrantica. I think I saw it and heard about it a time or two, just in the little Facebook groups and those kinds of things. But I don't think any reviewer has really talked about this fragrance, or any other reviewers really mentioned how good the performance is, and how good this stuff smells. Again, it's a very vanillic fragrance, very nice, very wearable oud. Um, This is much more. This is easier to wear than Oud Bouquet, no doubt about it. This is easier to wear. It doesn't have any of the animalic vibe. It's a little bit more musky. It has a lot of vanilla. A lot. If Oud Bouquet has any vanilla, it's not very detectable, and this stuff is really vanilla heavy. I think this is perfectly unisex. If you can confidently wear Shalimar, you can confidently wear this. I barely can wear my Louis Cardon Sacred, which is more of like a black amber vanilla fragrance, um, with musk and it. But I just have a hard time with vanilla. Most people would consider this very unisex. I consider it slightly. I think ladies would like it a tiny bit more. But it's I haven't talked about the performance. I kind of was you know just teasing y'all with that. But let's talk about the performance now. I wore this last night to test it. I really wore it. I sprayed it on. I think at 8 o'clock at night. Um, I was about to sleep, and I put my hand up to my nose when I was about to fall asleep, and this fragrance made me cough and choked me out because of how strong it was. And I was falling asleep at like midnight. So this stuff was strong enough to choke me out. When I put it up close to my face at 4 hours, this stuff pushes for at least 3 hours. When I woke up this morning, I could still smell it from about 2 inches off my hand. And that was only really like one spray. And I took my shower. I got ready for the day, and I could still faintly smell it. It didn't scrub off. I can still faintly, like barely smell it on my hand, and it's been like 20, almost 24 hours. So if you want a very strong performing wearable, tantalizing vanilla fragrance with floral aspects with oud, um, and guess what the best part of this fragrance is? It's like $30. It's a $30 fragrance, and it's one of those. If you spray it on your clothes, it's gonna last you 20 a day or two. This is a 12-hour fragrance. This is a long. I don't know if it's a projection beast exactly, but it's a longevity beast. This stuff is one of the best performing fragrances I have ever come across. And for oud bouquet lovers, you don't need to spend the oud bouquet prices. Dark Temptation is a wonderful fragrance from Be Layered. That one's a little bit more chocolatey. This one's focused on the vanilla. I just feel like this is gorgeous. Can y'all believe in the South that it's about to be Christmas Day and I see a mosquito? There's a few mosquitoes out here. I live near the equator, y'all. If y'all know Florida, I love tropical areas, but I do hate mosquitoes. Fragrance Journey says, "What up, Ben? How you doing, my friend? What's going on? How you doing today? Um, what's your scent of the day? How are you doing? I'm grateful for you stopping by, hanging out with me, having a fun time. I'm just talking about some good fragrances here. And if you want any gift suggestions, Christmas ideas, I have all kinds of ideas. I have all kinds of different hobbies and all kinds of different interests. I could help you. And I also really look into things too because I have some family members who are very picky. I have a brother who's a big health nut, so it's hard to buy for him because he likes unique, healthy things, and that's the only things he's really into. So he's really into like essential oils and health powders, natural medicine. Um, I have my mom who, she it for ladies, bath bombs are fantastic. Healthcare products, but the sugar scrubs and the salt scrubs are really popular right now. Those would be fantastic. I think a great gift for a lady is a room spray. I don't think a lot of people know or use room spray. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think they know about room sprays. And I think ladies really like room sprays. They can use them for their hair. They like to freshen up, where they live every once in a while. And you can buy some of that hydrosol, and it can be actually really healthy for you if you spray it on your bed. Um, Indecent says hello. Darren says scent of the day is Tuscan leather. Oh, Tuscan leather is a wonderful one. It's just a. Is that a classic by now? I want to say Tuscan leather is a classic. It's a great fragrance. It deserves to be called a classic almost at this point. What's your scent of the day, Fragrance Journey? How are you doing? Oh, people are commenting. Let's see. Mike says, well, she's just at four, and the way she smelled and the way beyond the compare. I never danced with another when I saw her standing there. Yeah, scent makes the difference. And, oh, okay. I remember, I think that's a country song. I need to keep up with that stuff, but yeah. Scent has a powerful connection to memory. That for certain, my friend. Michael says scent of the day is Mason Margello's Across Sands. I think that's from their new exclusive collection, isn't it? I don't remember if I've tried that one yet. There goes the dogs again. Anyways, guys, let me know. I really love to hear those kinds of things. Your scent of the day. You say it's been your signature for the last 3 years. Wow, that's awesome. Rock what you love, rock what you got, and dedication, my friend. I have a hard time with signature scents. I really don't dedicate myself to any one fragrance. I just want so much variety. That's why I buy a lot of decants. But some people love a fragrance and they stick with the fragrance and they can't give it up, and they won't give it up. And I applaud you, my friend. Tuscan Leather is a good fragrance. Um, Let me see here. Oh my gosh, Beatles. Oh, it's be the Beatles. I'm sorry. Um, I don't keep up with a lot of. I don't know. Do y'all know my music taste? I'm an odd guy. I listen and dabble in all about just about everything, but I don't really put remember names of fragrances, not fragrances, songs too well or music very much. I am more of a symphonic rock person. If you knew what Evanescence was back in the day, there's a lot of bands that have a similar feel to them. I love Nightwish. There's so many. There's D Lane. They're awesome. Epica. I listen to a lot of bands like that. I dive into all kinds of genres, and I'm always jumping to a new genre, something creative, something new. I don't stick with a lot of things, so I only know of a couple popular Beatles songs. I'm sorry, my friend. I know that Yellow Submarine one. There's one about like rebellion or something, and I think I forget. There's one like them walking. Their famous picture with them like walking across the street, and they have a song connected with that or something. So, I'm sorry. I'm more of a rockhead myself, but I dabble into anything. If you want a crazy experience, if you don't mind modern music, or if you do like modern music, check out Russian hard bass. Check out something crazy. Turn up the volume and let me know what you think. Check out some Russian hard bass, man. Anyways, Mike says, Ben, you sent me on another search. eBay for the classic Aventus. I'm sorry I mentioned that with my last video. Honestly, I don't really think it's worth the money. I'm not a big Creed head. I'm not a big fan of Creed. Again, they made their size bottles smaller, so essentially they're in a sneaky way charging you more money for their fragrance. They price gouge the USA. They charge the USA like $100 extra for a fragrance, and that's not because of tariffs or anything. No other really company really does that. Um, and they've done a few other things like go after decanters. I know they're probably trying to protect their brand because some people were mixing or putting out fake fragrances, or it might take away from their brand if people buy the big flacons. That's what a lot of people were doing. They were buying the big flacons, getting a really cheap price and then selling off the decants and making a little bit of money. And people were able to get 30 mil, 50 mil decants for a lot cheaper than a regular bottle of Aventus would be, especially for retail. You could get it even cheaper than fragrance net prices. So I don't think it's worth it, but 2015, 2016 batches of Aventus, I think were the last year that Aventus was worth a darn. And I think that 2015 were my favorites. They have a lot of them are nutty. They have the right amount of smoke. A lot of people don't even know what Aventus originally smelled like because they don't know. They I guess they just forgot, or they only tried more modern batches, or maybe they just like to focus on the fruity batches. I really don't know. Aventus originally was a very fruity fragrance, of course with pineapple, but it was also a very smoky fragrance. There was a lot of oak moss. It smelled a little bit more of an older, like a gentleman's fragrance, and there was a lot of ambergris. The ambergris, for the most part, has been stripped now. There's almost no oak moss to speak of at all. There's a lot of actually they've kind of taken away some of the pineapple and made it a little bit more of like an apple top with the citrus. And there's very little, if no smoke at all, to the fragrance. So Aventus these days, there is batch variation, but they intentionally have changed it for so it's more mass appealing, so it's more sellable, and more people want to buy it because the majority of people out there want a fresher, happier, more lighter fragrance. Aventus used to be more of a niche fragrance, so I don't think it's worth the price. But if you are going to buy Aventus, I think the 2016 and previous versions are the best. Um, I think there's some smoky batches in the 2016. There's some smoky batches in the 2014. Again, my favorite ones. There's some smoky, not smoky. There's some nutty and really ambergris kind of heavy batches in the 2015. I think it's like the 15 XO1s. Some of those batches are my favorites, but I'm not gonna pay the money for it. If I become a perfumer, maybe I can recreate something that I think that smells similar, if not even better, one day. So I just don't think it's worth the money. That's just my opinion. Brian says, "Merry Christmas. Do you have Cedroc Boise? And if so, have you compared it to a Ventus value for money accounted for?" I have not done a fragrance battle. I showed a bottle, I think, in the past. I think it was my dad's bottle. My dad actually, I got him into fragrances, and all those creeds I've shown in the past are his. And I've showcased. I used to talk about more vintage fragrances, and those are all his bottles, for the most part. Zurius Rouge is mine though. Zurius Rouge is something I love. But anyways, I haven't done a clash, a fragrance battle head to head. But Cedroc Boise does smell similar. It's a lot more like elderberry, almost like blackberry smelling. It doesn't have pineapple, but it has a similar feel. And it's really interesting when a fragrance can do that. It doesn't have the pineapple or the apple really, but it still has a similar feel to a similar style. Cedroc Boise lasts a lot longer. It's a lot sweeter. It's a little bit heavier, and it can stand up to the cold quite well. So if you don't mind sweet fragrances, it's not bad. Some of the big niche heads kind of put down on Cedroc Boise or just Mancera in general because it's true that maybe Mansaras aren't the highest quality and maybe they don't use the most natural ingredients, but they smell nice. And I think as a big fragrance head, um, I think it's easy to forget where the average person is or just the regular fragrance person is. And maybe some big niche heads, and nothing against them, maybe they take pride in wearing really artistic or strange or hard to find things. I like interesting fragrances. I like niche. That makes me stand apart, but I do like mass appealing fragrances. I don't put down on designer fragrances. I don't lean towards the $20 or $30 fragrances much anymore, but I do have some in my collection. I do like them. I wear Dolce Gabbana light blue swimming in Lipari for heaven's sakes, and that one is quite a salty ambergris balm kind of a fragrance. So um, yeah, it's a good fragrance, no doubt about it. If you want a good mass appealing fragrance with a lot of longevity, smells very nice. Definitely, Cedroc Boise is a good fragrance, no doubt about it. Brian says yes, but they serve the same purpose. It's unique and smoky. Um, yeah, I can see that. Mancera frags can be beasts. Yeah, Mansaras, they focus on performance. Just like the Montals, most Montals and Manceras have great performance. If you're are particular, very picky with compositions and quality of notes, you might not like Montals, but Montals to the average person, in the air, for the person who's not digging their nose into their arm, they smell very nice. Montal does have a problem with naming their fragrances, and their fragrances can be pretty confusing. They have a lot of them. I want to say they have 50 or 70 fragrances, maybe more. Maybe they have 100 fragrances now, and all of them are like oud focused, but it turns out a lot of them are really rose heavy. Um, I think good fragrances. I think they're a good brand. I do. One of them I do have to mention from Montal is one called Arabians. Arabians is like a really modern fougere fragrance, and it has the maybe the most beautiful lavender I think I've ever smelled in a fragrance. And that was Arabians by Montal. I was really surprised out of a Montal fragrance. I didn't know. Wasn't expecting for the lavender in that fragrance. I thought it was just going to be a side note. I thought it was just going to give a little bit of a heart to the fragrance. It's not a lavender focused fragrance. It's not lavender heavy, but when you really look for that lavender and you can tell the quality of it, that lavender in Montal Arabians, I think is something special. Brian says so far I've enjoyed Montal a lot, more than Mansara. Uh, Intense Cafe is my favorite, but as you say, rose heavy. Yeah, it's rose heavy for sure. Intense Cafe is a really nice wearable kind of coffee fragrance, though. It's quite unisex. It's quite charming. I think it's really nice for a date fragrance. You might want to spray it, an hour or two before you go out, because it could be maybe perhaps too strong. Um, Again, if somebody's really picky, they might not like Montal's blends. They might not think they're harmonious. I get a little bit more creativity out of a Montal fragrance than a Mancera. Manceras tend to blend a little bit more. They seem like a little bit more of like one accord, like one big kind of fusion of a fragrance, and they can seem a little bit linear to my nose. But nothing against Manceras. Mansaras do a great job, have great performance, and they're pretty good value for the money. I'm with you. I kind of do lean a little bit toward Montal myself. But let me see here. Mike says I love the oud with Montal. Black oud. Out of the red vetiver and the red are my go tos. Okay, I don't know if I've tried the red vetiver. I've tried the black oud. That one has a nice patchouli vibe to it. It's very wearable, but it is a little bit dark. That one is, I think, one of their best sellers. It's a great fragrance. Indecent says nice Noir de Noir. Um, I think that's by Tom Ford, isn't it? Do you like that fragrance? I have kind of mixed feelings about that fragrance. The opening to me is a little bit animalic. If I'm remembering the fragrance, it's been a little while. Um, if I remember Noir de Noir correctly, I thought it was a little bit animalic. It had this like odd soapy floral quality in the opening, and when it dried down, it did become a little bit seductive and playful. It was a nice fragrance, but it just wasn't my personality. But it's a good fragrance, I'm sure, and I'm sure people get compliments and really good attention with it. I'm sure it's a great fragrance. Do y'all want to hear more about this Rogba? Again, this is one of the best performing fragrances, and it's a $30 fragrance for a wearable, mass appealing, sweet, playful oud. If you're a lady out there, or if you're a guy and you like more unisex fragrances, if you like, I think it was by Gavinci Pie. If you like those kinds of fragrances, you gotta check this fragrance out for $30. The cap, it had a cheap kind of plastic cap, and it split in two when I tried to put it on. And I didn't drop it, I didn't step on it, I didn't break it. It split in two when I tried to put it on top of here. So I don't. They need to give for the price. I guess I can't complain, but it needs a better cap. But this is going to my mom, and she doesn't care about the cap. My mom and a lot of people I know, they pretty much want to throw away the cap because they're just going to set this on their counter, and it's easier for them to just reach for it and spray. And I would spray some for you, but this is a fragrance that you're dedicating it 16 hours, maybe 24 hours to this fragrance. You're going to smell like this fragrance the day you apply, and maybe the whole next day or half of the next day. So this is the kind of fragrance that it's a real decision if you decide to wear this. Um, you know, there's no way around it. You can't, you know, you're gonna smell like that, and you can't avoid it. You can't really wash it off. Really, it's a strong fragrance. What's the house? The brand is Rogba. Um, on the bottom, it doesn't say. I think it's by the house. Maybe it's from Fragrance World. I don't know if that's the seller. The one I was also sent, I think it was from the same brand. I think it's maybe from Fragrance World. Here's the name. It's spelled Raghba. That's how it's spelled. It's called Rogba. And if you like those fragrances like Da Vinci Pie, if you do like oud bouquet, if you like floral, very vanilla heavy oud fragrances with a great performance, value for money, yeah. Some people do talk about this. This one is under the radar for most people, though. But this one is one of the ones that kind of gets whispered and talked about, in the fragrance underground, I guess you could say. I brought Mahari's to the YouTube fragrance world, I'm gonna bring this one to the fragrance world because this one's crazy good value for money. It's a bang for your buck. It is really sweet though. Sounds a little sweet for my taste, in my opinion. Ouds give the best bang for your buck. Yeah, it depends on what kind of oud you go for. If it's a more synthetic oud, more mass appealing oud blend, where they kind of have a blend with patchouli, that kind of stuff. They sneak in amber and that kind of stuff, and this fragrance probably doesn't contain any real oud, just some oud, synthetic accord, but it smells great. Real oud is just extremely expensive. Real niche fragrances that have real oud, even ones that cost $200 plus, have very little real oud in them because oud can cost up to $1,000 per 1 gram. That's like a little square, like a sugar cube worth of oil. Can cost $1,000 for oud. Oud is worth more than gold per weight. And there's some ingredients out there, like some of the rose absolutes, like the Taif rose, and I think it's tuberose. I think I was told, and I think it was orris root or orris butter. I think it is. Are some of the most expensive ingredients or expensive things in the world, and ambergris, of course. Real ambergris oil, it's ridiculous. Like if you find a big, like a big rock of ambergris, it sometimes they hit the big news or international news because some average Joe who might not have a lot of money, somebody like me, is lucky enough. Maybe they're diving and they come across one of these things, and it makes them $50,000 for a large stone of oud. So not oud, ambergris. I'm sorry. So yeah, the security is roaming the yard. We got a little fussy dachshund here. He's a funny little guy. He's nice and friendly, but he's a little bit of a yapper. He's the smallest dachshund I think I've ever seen. And honestly, when we got him, they took him from his mom a little bit early. But hey, booger. But but he's still so small, and this is the biggest he's really gonna get. He's a little guy. He's the smallest dachshund ever, and we like him. His name is Truffles. He likes to smell out things. He likes smelling my fragrances. I know. I don't know if y'all know that he smells my fragrances, and sometimes the more gourmand ones, he wants to eat them. I don't know if y'all saw my Instagram post yesterday. I did a quick review of Papa's Waffles by Sucre Labelle, and he wanted to eat that one. We had never given waffles before. I was saying I think we need to give him some waffles. He'd probably like those. I hope y'all like that. He's a cool little dog. He likes to bark at everything though. Anyways, this fragrance is crazy though. Again, if somebody's a big niche head, a big oud head, they can tell that this is probably not a natural oud, and this is probably going to be cloying to them. It doesn't smell cloyingly sweet, but it might be a little bit linear. Again, this stuff performs, it projects, and it's crazy. Check this one out. If it sounds nice to you, Rogba. Boy, is that a crazy fragrance. And I've never had that happen before. When I've sprayed a fragrance on my hand, and after 4 hours, I've never had a fragrance that strong. I was trying to go to bed, and you know how you kind of like wrap up, and I put my nose right to my hand, and I wasn't even thinking about it. And I literally started choking after I applied one spray on my hand, like 4 hours later. That stuff performs. Okay, let's jump to the next one. Yeah, the dog is awesome. Yeah, Truffles is a good little guy. He's a friendly. He's a little bit of a scaredy dog, though. He always runs away. He always hides, but he's a nice little dog. Um. Anyways, the next one is Brown Orchid, and this one is supposed to. I mean, the bottle is really nice. Look at this. This is again a $35 fragrance or so. I don't know how some of these Arabian brands do it. Um, it does look kind of like an average bottle, but then it has this like suede artificial leather that's all engraved. It has all this design and texture to it, and it has this nice ribbon on the side. Kind of gives you a femme fatale kind of feel to the fragrance, or maybe a gothic feel like a Roxy kind of rocker girl feel maybe. This fragrance is a little bit lighter, but it still has its character. This is more of a 6 hour fragrance. It's not a performance beast like the Rogba, but this one does smell a little bit similar to Black Orchid. But it's interesting. This one's really hard to put my nose on it. It's more like a dry, dark cherry vibe with not very much sweetness, with that black orchid, that unique, uh, almost bitter floral aspect that Black Orchid has in Tom Ford. So it's quite strong. I mean that kind of accord is quite distinctive. Not this fragrance isn't particularly strong. This one is kind of like average projection, and this one will last you 6 or 7 hours or something like that. But this one again is probably another one of those $30 or $40 fragrances. And if you're trying to get by on a budget, maybe the lady in your life really likes Black Orchid by Tom Ford, and this one's a little bit more wearable. I think ladies would like this maybe a little bit more than Black Orchid. Tom Ford, some of their fragrances really are good niche fragrances, and Black Orchid is very distinctive. It has a good character to it. It's has its own character to it. It's just nice, and but it's very distinctive. For some people, it might be hard to wear. This one though is a little bit more wearable, but I do like it. It does have a little bit of that cologne vibe, a little bit in the opening to it, but very nice. It's a eau de parfum. This is a 2.72 ounce, a really odd bottle shape, odd bottle design. But again, it's a nice presentation. Again, this is a, you know, $30 fragrance. You might be able to find it closer to 20. If you live in a place that sells more Arabian fragrances, this might be like a $20 fragrance, maybe cheaper. I don't know. I talk about my Louis Cardon Sacred. I think I paid like $30 or something for that, and people were telling me that you can get that at some places. I guess maybe if you're friends with the owner for like $15. I don't know if that's true, but if you can get Louis Cardon Sacred for $15, I don't care if the fragrance is synthetic. That stuff smells great. I'm not going to be a snob. They did something right. I don't know where they're getting their ingredients. I don't know how they're so affordable. And whenever I get to become a perfumer, I want to know where they get their ingredients because that's crazy. That's crazy cheap, crazy nice. Um, Anyways, what's everybody's scent of the day? I appreciate y'all hanging out with me this evening, this Christmas Eve, pretty much. Having a good time, spending your time. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me this evening. Just talking about a quick few fragrances. I really do appreciate all of y'all who have supported me throughout my fragrance journey. I think I started last September. Um, you know, I had some hopes and dreams, but I didn't know that it would catch on. I didn't know that I could possibly have success. Some big YouTubers make it fast, and I'm not complaining. I didn't know if I was ever going to get 50 or 100 subscribers. I didn't know if people were going to like my content. And even though I do wish things were faster, I'm still very grateful and very happy that my channel has really gotten to the place where it is now. Um, it did, I am grateful. I don't want to seem like I'm ungrateful when I talk about wanting to grow the channel. Of course, you always want to have more success. You always want to, try to grow and try to succeed. And again, honestly, if I don't have success in the future, money wise and everything, I won't be able to keep this up as a fragrance reviewer. So we're going to make our dreams happen. Let me know, what are some of your resolutions for the next year? What are some of your dreams? What are you into? Uh, what do you like? Are you looking for any last minute Christmas ideas? I see that 6 people are here. I really do appreciate your time and your friendship. I really do. I'm going to see if anybody else wants to comment. Did you have any more questions about these fragrances? And again, thank you to the owner of Mare Meta for sending me their fragrance. Again, a great lemon fragrance. Very wearable, interesting lemon fragrance. Um, I don't know if he's going to try to reformulate it or change it. It does have only 3 main accords: lemon, vanilla, and leather, but it is very wearable. It has that right spunk of character and wearability, really. So, yeah, thank you, Darren. You say I've come a long way. It's true. When I first started, it wasn't easy. I was a bit camera shy. I'm more of a naturally introverted person. I do have a personality that suits well with YouTube, but you just have to grow into it. I am a INFJ personality, really a odd type of person overall. So I have my own personality quirks. I have my own strong beliefs and attitudes, but I'm really supportive and caring of other people. And I don't know. It just was a struggle for me getting on here initially. I've done interviews, I've done presentations. When I used to be religious, which I'm not really anymore, I've given talks like speeches before to crowds. Um, I For some reason I just didn't feel very secure on camera. I was really worried about what people might think about my taste in fragrances and my opinions. I was I found a good stride. I found a good pace. I was really worried that I was making content that people wanted. I was always trying to switch things up, change my thumbnails, figure out what people wanted. I never felt like I found or knew what people wanted to see. Um, and of course, I didn't want to offend anybody with my opinions because this is so subjective. And that's why I try to be more open minded and present things in more of an open way, because everybody has a different opinion on a fragrance. Everybody likes different things. Um, just because I don't like something, I never want to say something's a bad fragrance. Some fragrances might be better than others. Some fragrances you can critique them a little bit, but just because I don't prefer something, I'm not gonna say I don't like it. It's a bad fragrance. I'm not gonna do anything like that. So it's just not me. Let me see here. Merry Christmas to you as well and your family. Yeah, Darren Cooper, I appreciate you. I really do. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I don't know. Is that going to offend some people if I say Merry Christmas? I'm not very religious. I don't care. I'll say the word, but um, thank y'all so much for all of your support. Always being here. I'm just a guy sitting in the backyard talking about fragrances, being lucky. Somebody was generous enough to want my opinions and send me those fragrances that I could review them. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful to this guy for sending me these my way. And I actually do have been wanting a good lemon fragrance, and this one actually is quite a nice thing. And I honestly had been wondering if there was something that was more vanilla focused and maybe had better longevity than even Dark Temptation by B Layered. This stuff is a better price. The Ragba, it lasts longer, way longer than Dark Temptation, and might, especially for ladies out there, with the sweetness and the vanilla and all, they might be very very happy with this fragrance. So my goodness, I know my mom wants it. I let her smell it, and she loves it. and actually the cat was in my room and went to my bed, and I remember I sprayed that on my hand, and my dad said the cat smelled like that. So not the cat smelled like the fragrance the next day. That's, I'm telling you, this stuff's crazy. Anyways, I hope that y'all are doing fantastic. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas. This was a quick and informal video, just hanging out, chilling out with y'all, having a good time. I wish y'all the very best. I'll still upload a video tomorrow. It might be another quick live. I have a lot of stuff planned, and I'm gonna share a lot with y'all. I promise. I have discovery sets I showed y'all last year. Some Fortin Manley, some Einike, and some stuff. I have some new discovery sets, and I haven't really been able to gotten to review any of them. So I have a lot of stuff. Let me know what y'all want me to review. Let me know what you're looking forward to next time. And I do kind of want to put my opinion out on some of the popular designer fragrances, but I'm trying to figure out a tasteful way to do that where I think I can put my own spin on it. So that's in the works. I'll let y'all know what I'm thinking in the future, what I'm gonna do in the future, and we'll see what we can work out and what we can do. We'll make some things happen. We'll make things work. And thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you for all your friendship. I think I'm just about to jump out of here. Unless y'all have any more questions, if you want any Christmas ideas, any suggestions, and if you wanted me to talk any more about the fragrances I just showed y'all those 3 fragrances. Again, check out. He has an Instagram channel, our Instagram, profile. It's called Mara Meta. That's how you spell it. Check him out. Give him a follow. If his fragrances in the future anything like this, and I don't know his price tag, but if he's charging $50 for these, he might be a great upcoming guy. Just like Happy Land, EJ Wells, he's doing some great work. So thank y'all for being here. I'm so grateful. It means the world to me. Thank you for your friendship, and I'll see y'all next time. Have a great, happy holidays. Have a fantastic new year. Please be safe, y'all. Y'all probably know that this is the time of year with the most car crashes and drunk driving and tickets if you're speeding. So just be careful, y'all. Play it safe. Spend time with your family. I hope y'all are doing wonderful. Stay warm out there, my friends. I had somebody comment on one of my videos that they watched some of my videos because they like my content, but also because of the better weather because they're in Canada. He's probably in 0 degrees or maybe negative degrees if he's in, somewhere like Alberta, somewhere really cold in Canada. So I hope y'all are staying warm out there. Uh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, Michael and Silent Night. Happy holidays, my friends. I'll see y'all next time. And have a good time, my friends. Bye.